Question 1. A hybrid project is underway, combining Agile development for software components and a traditional approach for hardware integration. During the software development sprints, the team frequently encounters situations where user stories, once accepted into a sprint, turn out to be poorly defined, leading to rework and missed sprint goals. The project manager, observing this trend, wants to improve the flow of value. Which action would be most effective in addressing this issue and improving future delivery? A. Implement a more rigid change control board for all user story changes within a sprint. B. Direct the development team to increase their sprint velocity targets to absorb the rework. C. Facilitate a workshop with the product owner and development team to establish a clear definition of ready, door, for user stories. D. Shift entirely to a predictive lifecycle for the remaining software development to gain more control. Answer. C. Facilitate a workshop with the product owner and development team to establish a clear definition of ready, door, for user stories. Explanation. The most effective action to address poorly defined user stories and subsequent rework in an agile or hybrid environment is to establish a clear definition of ready, door. The door specifies the criteria a user story must meet before it can be pulled into a sprint, ensuring it is well understood, estimable, and actionable by the development team. This proactive approach improves the quality of input work, reduces ambiguity, and prevents rework, thereby enhancing delivery efficiency and predictability. Implementing a door helps align the product owner and the team on what constitutes a prepared piece of work, ultimately leading to more successful sprint completions. Question 2. A large-scale infrastructure project, following a predictive approach, is nearing its planned completion date. The latest earned value analysis shows a cost performance index, CPI, of 0.92 and a schedule performance index, SPI, of 1.05. The project manager has just received an updated forecast indicating that a critical component delivery will be delayed by 3 weeks due to unforeseen logistics issues, potentially impacting the project's ability to meet its hard deadline. What is the most appropriate action for the project manager to take regarding project delivery in this scenario? A. Authorize immediate overtime for all project resources to accelerate remaining activities and absorb the delay. B. Revise the project baseline to reflect the new critical component delivery date and communicate the new completion date to stakeholders. C. Perform a detailed impact analysis of the delay on the critical path and explore options for schedule compression, such as crashing or fast-tracking. D. Notify the project sponsor that the project will be unable to meet its original deadline due to external factors beyond control. Answer. C. Perform a detailed impact analysis of the delay on the critical path and explore options for schedule compression, such as crashing or fast-tracking. Explanation. Given a critical component delay, the most appropriate immediate action is to conduct a detailed impact analysis on the critical path to understand the full extent of the delay on the project's overall completion. Following this, the project manager should explore schedule compression techniques like crashing, adding resources to shorten duration, or fast-tracking, performing activities in parallel that would normally be sequential, to mitigate the impact. This proactive approach aims to find solutions and maintain the original deadline before resorting to baseline revisions or stakeholder notifications of missed deadlines. The CPI and SPI indicate cost overruns but slight schedule acceleration overall, meaning there might be some buffer or opportunity to recover. Question 3. An Agile team is working on a new product feature. During the sprint, the team realizes that a key dependency on another internal department was not identified during sprint planning, and the dependent work will not be ready until after the current sprint ends. This directly jeopardizes the team's ability to complete the sprint goal. What is the most suitable response from the Scrum Master regarding delivery in this situation? A. Reassign the dependent task to another team member to ensure the sprint goal is met. B. Facilitate a discussion with the product owner to re-evaluate the sprint goal and potentially remove or rescope the affected stories. C. Escalate the dependency issue to senior management for immediate resolution with the other department. D. Instruct the team to proceed with other tasks and address the dependency during the next sprint planning. Answer: B. Facilitate a discussion with the product owner to re-evaluate the sprint goal and potentially remove or rescope the affected stories. Explanation: when a critical dependency threatens the sprint goal, the Scrum Master's role is to facilitate collaboration and adaptation, not to dictate solutions or prematurely escalate. The most suitable response is to engage the product owner to discuss the impact, re-evaluate the sprint goal, and potentially adjust the scope of the current sprint by removing or rescoping the affected stories. This allows the team to focus on deliverable value within the sprint, while the dependency can be addressed for future sprints, upholding Agile principles of flexibility and continuous delivery. This proactive approach helps the team deliver what is feasible, even if the original goal needs adjustment. Question 4. A project manager is overseeing a complex software integration project using a hybrid approach. The project has a fixed budget and a strict deadline. The project team has successfully delivered several key components, but quality checks reveal a higher than expected defect rate in the integrated modules. This is impacting the acceptance of deliverables by the client. What is the most effective approach for the project manager to improve delivery performance concerning quality without jeopardizing the timeline or budget excessively? A. Halt all new development until all existing defects are resolved, then resume the project. B. Implement a formal quality assurance (QA) gate before client delivery, hiring additional QA resources. C. Conduct a root cause analysis to identify the sources of defects and implement process improvements or training. D. Negotiate with the client to relax quality requirements to meet the schedule and budget constraints. Answer: C. Conduct a root cause analysis to identify the sources of defects and implement process improvements or training. Explanation: the most effective approach to improve quality and delivery performance in the long term, without excessive impact on budget or schedule, is to address the root causes of defects. Conducting a root cause analysis helps identify systemic issues in the development or integration process, which could be anything from unclear requirements to insufficient testing practices or lack of team skills. Once identified, targeted process improvements or training can be implemented to prevent recurrence, leading to higher quality deliverables and more efficient future delivery. This proactive, preventative strategy is more sustainable than simply adding more quality checks or stopping work. Question 5. A PMP certified project manager is leading a project to develop a new mobile application. The project is using an Agile approach. After a few sprints, the product owner expresses concern that while features are being delivered, they are not always aligned with the evolving market needs, and some previously developed features are now considered low value. What should be the project manager's primary focus to ensure effective delivery in this scenario? A. Implementing stricter scope control mechanisms to prevent changes once a sprint begins. B. Emphasizing the importance of the definition of done to ensure all features are fully complete. C. Facilitating continuous engagement with stakeholders and validating value through frequent feedback loops. D. Increasing the frequency of daily stand-ups to better monitor team progress and identify deviations. Answer: C. Facilitating continuous engagement with stakeholders and validating value through frequent feedback loops. Explanation: in an Agile environment, value is paramount and continuously evolving. The primary focus for a project manager facing misalignment with market needs is to ensure continuous engagement with stakeholders and establish frequent feedback loops. This allows for regular validation of delivered features against current market demands and user expectations, enabling the product backlog to be reprioritized effectively. This adaptive approach ensures that the team consistently delivers the highest business value, even as requirements evolve, which is central to effective Agile delivery. Remember, Agile success isn't just about delivering features, it's about delivering the right features that provide value. Question 6. A project team is using an iterative approach to develop a new internal system. After several iterations, stakeholders are complaining that they aren't seeing tangible progress quickly enough, despite the team demonstrating working software at the end of each iteration. The project manager identifies that while the team is delivering software, it's often small, isolated components rather than integrated, user-facing functionalities. What concept should the project manager emphasize to improve stakeholder perception and overall delivery effectiveness? A. Velocity. B. Technical debt. C. Minimum business increment, MBI. D. Earned value. Answer: C. Minimum business increment, MBI. Explanation: the project manager should emphasize the concept of a minimum business increment, MBI, to improve stakeholder perception and delivery effectiveness. An MBE is the smallest piece of functionality that delivers new value to the business or user, often comprising multiple features that work together. By focusing on delivering MBIs rather than isolated components, the project ensures that stakeholders see and receive tangible, integrated, and valuable functionality more frequently, improving their perception of progress and demonstrating true business value. This ensures that delivery isn't just about completing tasks, but about achieving meaningful outcomes. Question 7. A project manager is leading a complex global project with distributed teams. The project is currently in its execution phase, with several deliverables already completed and accepted. However, recent performance reports indicate that the cost variance, CV, is consistently negative, while the schedule variance, SV, is positive. The project manager wants to ensure future deliverables are more cost-efficient without compromising the accelerated schedule. What action should be prioritized? A. Renegotiate contracts with suppliers for better rates or explore alternative, cheaper materials. B. Reevaluate resource assignments to ensure optimal utilization and reduce non-value-added activities. C. Increase the budget baseline to account for the current cost overruns. D. Direct the team to increase their pace of work to further accelerate the schedule, offsetting cost issues. Answer: B. Reevaluate resource assignments to ensure optimal utilization and reduce non-value-added activities. Explanation: with a negative cost variance, CV is 0, the project is over budget, while a positive schedule variance, SV as 0, indicates it is ahead of schedule. To address cost efficiency without compromising the accelerated schedule, the project manager should prioritize reevaluating resource assignments to ensure optimal utilization. This means identifying if resources are underutilized, assigned to tasks not on the critical path, or engaged in excessive rework, and then reallocating them more efficiently. Optimizing resource utilization directly impacts labor costs and can improve cost performance while maintaining the existing momentum, ensuring future deliveries are more financially sound. Question 8. A project team is using Kanban to manage the development of a new service. The team has noticed a significant increase in the lead time for new features, even though the team's throughput remains relatively stable. Upon investigation, it's clear that work items are frequently getting stuck in the "in review" column, creating a bottleneck. What is the most effective approach for the project manager to address this delivery bottleneck? A. Implement stricter work in progress, WIP, limits for all columns to reduce overall work in the system. B. Increase the capacity of the "in review" stage by adding more reviewers or training existing team members in review processes. C. Prioritize only the highest value features to reduce the number of items requiring review. D. Introduce daily stand-ups to discuss the status of items in review and urge reviewers to act faster. Answer: B. Increase the capacity of the "in review" stage by adding more reviewers or training existing team members in review processes. Explanation: when a bottleneck forms in a specific stage, such as "in review," and lead time increases while throughput remains stable, it indicates that the capacity of that stage is insufficient for the flow of work. The most effective approach is to address the bottleneck directly by increasing the capacity of the "in review" stage. This could involve adding more reviewers, cross-training team members to perform reviews, or improving the review process itself to make it more efficient, ensuring work flows smoothly through the system and reducing lead time for delivery. Implementing a solution directly at the point of constraint will yield the best results. Question 9. In an Agile project, the team consistently meets its definition of done, DoD, for sprint backlog items, but the product owner and stakeholders are frequently disappointed with the overall quality of the integrated product increment at the end of the sprint, citing integration issues and unexpected behavior between features. What is the most likely underlying issue affecting effective delivery, and what should the project manager recommend? A. The definition of done is insufficient. Recommend expanding the DoD to include integration testing and end-to-end quality checks. B. The team's velocity is too high. Recommend reducing the number of stories taken into the sprint. C. The product owner is not providing clear acceptance criteria. Recommend stricter requirements gathering. D. The team is experiencing technical debt. Recommend a dedicated refactoring sprint. Answer. A. The definition of done is insufficient. Recommend expanding the DoD to include integration testing and end-to-end quality checks. Explanation. If a team consistently meets its definition of done, DoD, but stakeholders are disappointed with the integrated product quality, it strongly indicates that the DoD is not comprehensive enough to ensure true doneness from a stakeholder perspective. The most likely underlying issue is an insufficient DoD that doesn't adequately cover integration, system-level testing, or end-to-end quality validation. The project manager should recommend expanding the DoD to include these critical steps, ensuring that each done item is truly ready for integration and contributes to a high-quality, shippable increment. A robust DoD is crucial for delivering quality value in Agile. Question 10. A large, multi-team Agile release train is delivering a new product. The release train engineer, RTE, observes that while individual teams are performing well and meeting their sprint goals, the overall program increment, PI, objectives are frequently not met due to dependencies and integration challenges between teams. What is the most crucial aspect of delivery performance the RTE should focus on to improve PI objective achievement? A. Optimizing individual team velocities to ensure higher throughput. B. Implementing stricter feature acceptance criteria for each team. C. Enhancing cross-team collaboration, synchronization, and dependency management. D. Increasing the frequency of daily stand-ups across all teams to monitor progress. Answer. C. Enhancing cross-team collaboration, synchronization, and dependency management. Explanation. In a scaled Agile environment like a release train, individual team performance is necessary but not sufficient for achieving overall program increment, PI, objectives. The most crucial aspect to focus on when PI objectives are missed due to integration and dependency challenges is enhancing cross-team collaboration, synchronization, and dependency management. This involves facilitating inter-team communication, coordinating shared technical practices, and actively identifying and managing cross-team dependencies to ensure that components integrate smoothly and contribute to the collective PI goals. Effective cross-team coordination is the linchpin of successful delivery at scale. Question 11. A traditional project is in the execution phase. The project manager receives a report indicating that the overall project's cost variance, CV, is 150,000, plus 150,000 and the schedule variance, SV, is plus 50,000. Upon reviewing specific work packages, it's found that a key deliverable is currently 75% complete against a planned 80% completion, and its actual cost is 120% of its planned cost for that progress. The project manager wants to bring the deliverable back on track. Which earned value metrics for this specific deliverable should the project manager prioritize analyzing to understand its current status and inform corrective actions? A. Budget at completion, BAC, and estimate to complete, ETC. B. Cost Performance Index, CPI, and Schedule Performance Index, SPI. C. Planned Value, PV, and earned value, EV. D. Actual cost, AC, and variance at completion, VAC. Answer, B. Cost Performance Index, CPI, and Schedule Performance Index, SPI. Explanation. To understand the current status of a specific deliverable and inform corrective actions, the project manager should prioritize analyzing its Cost Performance Index, CPI, and Schedule Performance Index, SPI. CPI, EV/AC, indicates the cost efficiency of the work performed, showing if the deliverable is over or under budget. SPI, EV/PV, indicates the schedule efficiency, showing if it is ahead or behind schedule. These indices provide immediate, clear performance indicators for the specific work package, helping the project manager pinpoint where the problems, cost overrun and slight schedule lag, are and then devise targeted interventions. Question 12. A project manager is leading a software development project using an iterative approach. The team has successfully delivered several features, but stakeholders are increasingly expressing concerns that the user interface, UI, is inconsistent across different modules, leading to a poor user experience. While individual features meet their definition of done, the overall product coherence is suffering. What is the most effective way for the project manager to improve delivery performance regarding user experience and consistency? A. Implement stricter individual feature acceptance criteria during sprint planning. B. Introduce dedicated design sprints focused solely on UI/UX elements. C. Establish and enforce design guidelines and conduct regular UI/UX reviews as part of the iteration's quality checks. D. Increase the frequency of product demonstrations to gain more feedback from stakeholders. Answer, C. Establish and enforce design guidelines and conduct regular UI/UX reviews as part of the iteration's quality checks. Explanation. To address inconsistent user interfaces and poor user experience when individual features are done, the most effective approach is to establish and enforce clear design guidelines. These guidelines ensure a consistent look and feel across all modules, providing a unified user experience. Furthermore, incorporating regular UI/UX reviews as a part of the iteration's quality checks ensures that the team adheres to these guidelines throughout the development process, proactively identifying and correcting inconsistencies before they become major issues. This integrates design quality directly into the delivery flow, ensuring a coherent product. Question 13. A project team is utilizing a Kanban system for continuous delivery of minor enhancements to an existing product. The team consistently has many items in a done column awaiting deployment, but deployments occur infrequently due to complex release procedures and the need for extensive manual testing. This backlog of done but not deployed work prevents users from receiving value quickly. What is the most critical area for the project manager to focus on to improve the flow of value to users? A. Reducing the work in progress, WIP, limits in earlier stages of the Kanban board. B. Automating testing and streamlining the deployment pipeline to enable more frequent releases. C. Prioritizing the done items to determine which ones should be deployed first. D. Increasing the team's capacity to complete more items for the done column. Answer, B. Automating testing and streamlining the deployment pipeline to enable more frequent releases. Explanation. The most critical area to focus on is automating testing and streamlining the deployment pipeline to enable more frequent releases. The problem isn't the team's ability to complete features, done column items are abundant, but the inability to get them to users quickly due to manual and complex release procedures. By investing in automation for testing and deployment, the project can significantly reduce the lead time from done to delivered, accelerating the flow of value to end users and fulfilling the promise of continuous delivery. This directly addresses the bottleneck in the delivery pipeline. Question 14. A project manager is leading a data migration project that is primarily predictive. The project team has successfully completed all technical development and testing. However, during the user acceptance testing (UAT) phase, many users are reporting that the new system is not intuitive and requires extensive training, which was not initially budgeted for. This impacts the overall success of the delivery despite the technical aspects being complete. What was most likely overlooked in the delivery planning and execution? A. Comprehensive stakeholder engagement throughout the project lifecycle, specifically focusing on user needs and adoption. B. Adequate contingency reserves for unforeseen training requirements and user support. C. Sufficient technical testing and quality assurance activities to ensure system functionality. D. Strict adherence to the project schedule and budget to avoid scope creep. Answer: A. Comprehensive stakeholder engagement throughout the project lifecycle, specifically focusing on user needs and adoption. Explanation: the scenario points to a failure in delivering a usable and intuitive system for the end users, despite technical completeness. This indicates that comprehensive stakeholder engagement, specifically focusing on user needs and adoption, was likely overlooked in the delivery planning and execution. Effective delivery isn't just about building the system, but ensuring it meets the user's needs and can be adopted smoothly. Engaging users early and consistently in defining requirements, designing the solution, and validating usability, e.g., through prototyping, feedback sessions, would have identified the intuitiveness issue much earlier and allowed for proactive adjustments. Question 15. A global e-commerce platform project, following a hybrid approach, is in its execution phase. The Agile teams are delivering product increments every 2 weeks, but the business stakeholders are overwhelmed by the sheer volume of new features and struggle to provide timely and comprehensive feedback, leading to delays in acceptance and potential rework in later iterations. What is the most effective strategic adjustment for the project manager to improve the delivery and acceptance of value? A. Reduce the scope of each sprint to deliver fewer features, making it easier for stakeholders to review. B. Implement a formal change control process for all new feature requests to limit the product backlog size. C. Facilitate a discussion to establish a minimum business increment, MBI, or minimum viable product, MVP, approach for releases. D. Increase the frequency of daily stand-ups and sprint reviews to provide more opportunities for feedback. Answer: C. Facilitate a discussion to establish a minimum business increment, MBI, or minimum viable product, MVP, approach for releases. Explanation: when stakeholders are overwhelmed by the volume of features and struggle to provide feedback, the core issue is often the size or granularity of the delivered increments. The most effective strategic adjustment is to facilitate a discussion to establish a minimum business increment, MBI, or minimum viable product, MVP, approach for releases. This focuses delivery on the smallest set of features that provide significant business value and can be released to a subset of users for immediate, targeted feedback. This approach delivers meaningful value, simplifies feedback, and ensures that subsequent development is validated, thereby improving the delivery and acceptance of true value. Question 16. A project manager is overseeing a highly complex engineering project with numerous interdependencies. The project is using a predictive approach. Midway through the project, a major supplier announces a delay in delivering a critical, custom-fabricated component by 2 months. This component is on the critical path. The project manager needs to assess the impact and ensure continued progress with minimal disruption to the overall project delivery. What is the most appropriate initial step? A. Immediately inform all stakeholders about the 2-month delay and revise the project schedule baseline. B. Initiate procurement of the critical component from an alternative, faster supplier at a premium cost. C. Update the project schedule with the new delivery date and conduct a detailed critical path analysis to identify impacts on subsequent activities. D. Convene an urgent meeting with the project team to brainstorm methods for accelerating all other project activities. Answer: C. Update the project schedule with the new delivery date and conduct a detailed critical path analysis to identify impacts on subsequent activities. Explanation: when a critical path component experiences a significant delay, the most appropriate initial step is to update the project schedule with the new information and conduct a detailed critical path analysis. This analysis is crucial to precisely understand the ripple effect of the delay on dependent activities and the overall project completion date. Only after fully understanding the impact can informed decisions be made regarding mitigation strategies, like crashing or fast-tracking, resource reallocation, or necessary communication to stakeholders. Reacting without a thorough analysis could lead to suboptimal or even detrimental decisions. Question 17. An Agile team is continuously delivering software updates to production. Recently, there has been an increase in critical defects reported by users shortly after new releases. The team's definition of done, DoD, includes unit testing and peer review. What is the most effective long-term solution the project manager should facilitate to improve the quality of delivery and reduce post-release defects? A. Implement a separate, dedicated quality assurance, QA, team to perform extensive regression testing before each release. B. Expand the definition of done to include more robust testing, such as integration testing, system testing, or automated end-to-end tests. C. Slow down the release cadence to allow more time for manual testing and defect detection. D. Hold more frequent retrospectives to identify individual developer errors and provide additional training. Answer: B. Expand the definition of done to include more robust testing, such as integration testing, system testing, or automated end-to-end tests. Explanation: an increase in post-release critical defects, despite current unit testing and peer reviews, indicates that the current definition of done, DoD, is insufficient to ensure production-ready quality. The most effective long-term solution is to expand the DoD to incorporate more comprehensive testing phases, such as integration testing, system testing, or ideally, building automated end-to-end tests. By shifting more thorough quality checks left, earlier in the development cycle, and making them part of done, the team ensures that defects are caught before deployment, thereby improving the inherent quality of delivered increments and reducing post-release issues. Question 18. A project manager is overseeing a new product development project using an adaptive approach. The project is struggling with frequent changes to design specifications driven by market feedback, leading to significant rework and affecting the predictability of delivery. How should the project manager best address this challenge while maintaining an adaptive mindset? A. Implement a change control board to formally review and approve all design specification changes. B. Work with the product owner and stakeholders to manage expectations regarding the iterative nature of design and emphasize the value of late changes. C. Insist on freezing design specifications earlier in the project lifecycle to reduce rework. D. Increase the size of the development team to absorb the additional rework caused by changes. Answer: B. Work with the product owner and stakeholders to manage expectations regarding the iterative nature of design and emphasize the value of late changes. Explanation: in an adaptive environment, frequent changes to design specifications based on market feedback are a natural and often beneficial part of the process, as they allow the product to evolve to meet true market needs. The project manager should not try to stifle these changes with traditional controls, but rather work with the product owner and stakeholders to manage expectations. This involves explaining the iterative nature of design, embracing the value that late changes can bring, e.g., better product fit, competitive advantage, and adapting the delivery approach, e.g., smaller increments, continuous integration, to accommodate this flexibility without derailing the project. Question 19. A traditional project to build a new manufacturing plant is facing significant delays due to unexpected regulatory approvals taking longer than anticipated. The project manager has estimated the project's estimate at completion, EAC, to be significantly higher than the budget at completion, BAC, and the revised schedule performance index, SPI, to be 0.85. The sponsor is concerned about the financial impact and wants to know the forecast for the overall project's financial performance. Which formula is most appropriate for the project manager to use to present the forecast cost at completion, assuming the current cost variance trend will continue for the remainder of the project? A. EAC equals AC plus ETC. B. EAC equals BAC/CPI. C. EAC equals AC plus BAC EV. D. EAC equals AC plus BAC EV / CPI * SPI. Answer: B. EAC equals BAC/CPI. Explanation: when forecasting the estimate at completion, EAC, and assuming the current cost variance trend will continue for the remainder of the project, the most appropriate formula to use is EAC equals BAC/CPI. This formula is used when the project's historical cost performance index, CPI, is expected to be a good predictor of future cost performance. It extrapolates the current efficiency, or inefficiency, of spending across the entire budget, providing a realistic estimate of the total cost at completion under the assumption of consistent performance. Remember, this formula indicates that if you continue performing at your current cost efficiency, this is what the total project will cost. Question 20. A project team is developing a complex software system. During the sprint review, the product owner expresses dissatisfaction with a key feature, stating it does not meet the underlying business need despite meeting all stated acceptance criteria. This indicates a gap between the written requirements and the actual desired outcome. What action should the project manager prioritize to prevent similar issues in future deliveries? A. Train the development team on stricter adherence to acceptance criteria. B. Implement a more rigorous formal requirements gathering process. C. Facilitate more frequent and collaborative backlog refinement sessions, focusing on understanding the why behind the user stories. D. Conduct a post-mortem meeting to identify who is responsible for the misinterpretation. Answer: C. Facilitate more frequent and collaborative backlog refinement sessions, focusing on understanding the why behind the user stories. Explanation: when a feature meets acceptance criteria but fails to address the underlying business need, it signifies a disconnect in understanding the true objective or value. The most effective action is to facilitate more frequent and collaborative backlog refinement sessions. These sessions, involving the product owner, development team, and relevant stakeholders, provide an opportunity to dive deeper into the why behind user stories, clarify business value, explore alternatives, and ensure a shared understanding of the desired outcome before development begins. This proactive approach ensures that the team delivers what truly matters, not just what was written. Question 21. A project manager is leading a research and development project for a new medical device, using an adaptive life cycle. The project sponsor has expressed concern that while the team is making progress on technical components, there is no clear minimum viable product, MVP, defined, making it difficult to assess market readiness or secure further investment. What should the project manager prioritize to address the sponsor's concern and improve delivery focus? A. Create a detailed project charter and scope statement to define the product requirements upfront. B. Facilitate a workshop with key stakeholders to define the smallest set of features that delivers core value and allows for early learning and validation. C. Implement a stringent change control process to prevent further scope changes and focus the team. D. Increase the frequency of technical demonstrations to showcase the team's progress on individual components. Answer: B. Facilitate a workshop with key stakeholders to define the smallest set of features that delivers core value and allows for early learning and validation. Explanation: the sponsor's concern about the lack of a clear minimum viable product, MVP, points to a need for focused delivery that demonstrates early value and market readiness. The project manager should prioritize facilitating a workshop with key stakeholders to collaboratively define the MVP. An MVP is the smallest set of features that delivers core value to customers, allowing for early deployment, user feedback, and validation of assumptions. Defining an MVP brings clarity to the project's immediate delivery goals, enables early market learning, and helps secure future investment by demonstrating tangible progress and value. Question 22. A large construction project, following a predictive approach, has been running for several months. The project manager receives the latest project status report showing a to-complete performance index, TCPI, of 1.15 based on the budget at completion, BAC. This indicates that for the remaining work, the project team must achieve a CPI of 1.15 to complete the project within its original budget. What does this TCPI value imply for the project's future delivery performance from a cost perspective? A. The project is currently performing under budget and has a comfortable financial buffer. B. The project is currently over budget, and the team needs to perform more efficiently than planned to finish within budget. C. The project is currently behind schedule and needs to accelerate work to catch up. D. The project is on track to complete within budget, requiring no specific action. Answer: B. The project is currently over budget, and the team needs to perform more efficiently than planned to finish within budget. Explanation: a to-complete performance index, TCPI, of 1.15, based on BAC, implies that for the remaining work, the project team needs to achieve a cost performance efficiency of 115% to complete the project within its original budget at completion. A TCPI greater than 1.0 indicates that it will be harder to complete the project within the budget, implying the project is currently over budget. Therefore, the team needs to perform more efficiently from this point forward to avoid exceeding the original budget, making it a critical indicator for future delivery efforts. Question 23. An Agile team is performing well, consistently delivering working software at the end of each sprint. However, the product owner reports that the business users are not actually using some of the delivered features, indicating a disconnect between features delivered and actual user adoption or value realization. What immediate action should the project manager recommend to improve value delivery? A. Implement more rigorous user acceptance testing, UAT, sessions to ensure users understand features. B. Engage in more frequent and direct collaboration with end users to validate feature utility and desirability. C. Slow down the sprint cadence to give users more time to adopt new features. D. Focus on delivering technical excellence to ensure features are robust, even if not immediately used. Answer: B. Engage in more frequent and direct collaboration with end users to validate feature utility and desirability. Explanation: if features are delivered but not used, it suggests a gap in understanding the true needs or desirability from the end user's perspective, even if the features are technically done. The most impactful immediate action is to foster more frequent and direct collaboration with end users. This involves techniques like user interviews, usability testing, and gathering feedback directly from users, rather than relying solely on the product owner's interpretation of business needs. This direct engagement helps validate feature utility and desirability, ensuring that future deliveries align with what users truly need and will adopt, thus improving the realization of value. Question 24. A project manager is leading a fixed-price contract project following a predictive approach. The project is 60% complete based on planned value. The latest earned value report shows the actual cost, AC, is $300,000 and the earned value, EV, is $270,000. The budget at completion, BAC, is $450,000. The project manager needs to determine the estimate to complete, ETC, for the remaining work, assuming the current cost performance will continue. Which calculation is most appropriate for ETC? A. ETC equals BAC EV. B. ETC equals BAC EV slash CPI. C. ETC equals BAC AC. D. ETC equals BAC EV slash SPI. Answer: B. ETC equals BAC EV/CPI. Explanation: to calculate the estimate to complete ETC, assuming the current cost performance trend will continue, the most appropriate formula is ETC equals BAC EV/CPI. This formula accounts for the efficiency, or inefficiency, of past work. It calculates the remaining work's value, BAC EV, and then divides it by the cost performance index, CPI equals EV/AC, which reflects the project's past cost efficiency. This provides a realistic estimate of the additional funds needed to complete the project, considering the project's historical spending rate, ensuring that future delivery estimates are based on current reality. Question 25. An Agile team has been consistently delivering software iterations, but stakeholders frequently complain about unexpected performance issues in production, particularly under heavy load, even though functional tests pass during development. The team's definition of done, DoD, does not explicitly include performance testing. What is the most important element missing in the delivery process that the project manager should address? A. Comprehensive user acceptance testing, UAT, with real users. B. A dedicated hardening sprint before release for bug fixes. C. Integration of non-functional requirements, such as performance testing, into the definition of done. D. Stricter enforcement of work in progress, WIP, limits to reduce context switching. Answer: C. Integration of non-functional requirements, such as performance testing, into the definition of done. Explanation: the recurring performance issues in production, despite functional tests passing, indicate a critical gap in the definition of done, DoD, regarding non-functional requirements. Non-functional requirements, NFRs, like performance, security, and scalability are crucial for a truly done and production-ready product. The most important missing element is the explicit integration of performance testing and other relevant NFR checks into the DoD. By making NFRs a mandatory part of the done criteria for each increment, the team ensures that quality is built in, rather than being an afterthought, leading to more robust and reliable deliveries.